for a risk-free trial of Ageless Male. Just call 1-800-497-8345. 1-800-497-8345. 1-800-497-8345.
HempUSA.org has a revolutionary wonder food for detoxing the body and rebuilding the immune system. Microplant powder can help unclog arteries and soften heart valves while removing heavy metals, virus, fungus, bacteria, and parasites. Plus, it cleans and purifies the blood, lungs, stomach, and colon. Keep your body clean with Microplant powder. Visit us at HempUSA.org or call 908-691-2608 today.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
Folks, have you lost your power and wanted to simply flip a switch to get the lights back on? If so, this is going to be the most important message you'll ever hear, because there's never been a better time to get ready for the winter power outages ahead. Here's why. Solar-powered generators are now available from our friends at Solutions from Science, one of our oldest sponsors. Their emergency backup systems provide life-saving electrical power when you need it most. Unlike gas generators, a solar generator runs quietly, emits no fumes, and produces electricity from the sun. It's like having an electric power plant running quietly in your own home. Whether it's ice storms, brownouts, or blackouts, you'll never have to suffer through painful power outages again. When the power goes out this winter, you'll be ready with a solar-powered generator from Solutions from Science. Go to mysolarbackup.com for more information. That's mysolarbackup.com or call 877-327-0365.
Have you ever seen a U.S. postage stamp featuring Abraham Lincoln, Ben Franklin, or George Washington? If you're into stamp collecting, you know it's a fun, affordable hobby. America's leading stamp dealer is the Mystic Stamp Company, and they want you to have their free 140-page color catalog. Go to MysticStampAd.com, the website of the Mystic Stamp Company. Serving stamp collectors since 1923, Mystic Stamp is well known in the industry for its experience, superior customer service, and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Go to MysticStampAd.com to request your free 140-page U.S. stamp color catalog packed with collecting tips, special offers, color photos, and over 4,600 available stamps. Call 800-433-7811 or go to MysticStampAd.com. That's 800-433-7811 and ask for your free U.S. stamp catalog or MysticStampAd.com. Mystic Stamp Company, America's leading stamp dealer.
Our final segment with Wayne Paul, who's a very busy CPA in his own right and political activist exposing the unconstitutional IRS, joining us the middle of his workday here. We only got a few minutes left, but talking to him to finish that question, he says he's talked to Ron last weekend. He's doing great and super fired up. But you can see that on the campaign trail. Your brother really looks more happy and fired up than I've ever seen him. It's got to be satisfying to see how much he's having an effect waking people up, Wayne.
That's absolutely correct. I think the other thing that has made him comfortable and more restful is the fact that he's been able to travel from place to place differently than he did 4 years ago, having to use commercial airlines. He doesn't do that this time. Therefore, he's able to get more downtime and restful time, which is what he really needs.
Oh, the airport will beat the daylights out of you. And when he started flying private, the media made fun of it when all the other candidates do. I mean, we need him to be getting places faster and getting more rest. I mean, we need to. It's ridiculous that Liberty's champion, of course, should be flying around with all his staff. And I saw the news had to admit it costs less to fly the 10 or 15 people on a private jet than it does to even fly them commercial most times.
That is correct, besides the amount of time saving. You know, there's an airport 15 minutes from my brother's house. So he can still fly back home at midnight and be in bed before 12:30.
And the TSA doesn't get to grope him as well. I know he said that happens to him when he flies commercial.
Oh, yeah.
I want to play you a short clip of Karl Rove. It's unedited except for a Kentucky Derby clip at the end making a joke about Santorum popping into the lead from nowhere. But here's Karl Rove on Fox News. Listen to this, Wayne.
Romney is going to win the Iowa caucuses by 14 votes. How solid is your evidence?
From a pretty good, reliable source. They made the correction in Story County, which moved it from an 18-point margin for Santorum to a 4-vote margin for Santorum. Clinton County, you have the one outstanding precinct in the state, and that it will show an 18-vote victory in that precinct for Mitt Romney, which will give him a statewide victory of 14 votes over.
From out of nowhere, it's Rick Santorum.
So I don't understand. You're saying that they basically have come to an agreement as to what the vote's going to be in Clinton?
The person who's got the official piece of paper is missing. But the Romney and Santorum people who are monitoring it agree on what the number is. They apparently have rounded up the representatives of the camps who have agreed, yes, we were there, we know exactly what the vote total was, and we both agreed to what it was.
So, Karl Rove magically knew, this was pretty early in the evening that night, what the totals were, and now 2 weeks later it's an admitted fraud, just as our watchers said. Ron Paul clearly in every case was getting more votes, and now he's not even mentioned in this, Wayne. I mean, I go back to this. This is a big story.
Well, it is absolutely a big story, but again, I have to emphasize the fact that the people of Iowa are being shortchanged by those who are manipulating numbers and votes for somebody's eventual gain. And the people in Iowa ought to be livid on just hearing this stuff. They ought to take the Republican Party of the state of Iowa and kick them all out and start over again.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
Exactly. They're not even telling us what's going to go on the delegates. They say the election, the quote is, no winner declared, but they're going to say the winner Santorum. Very bizarre.
Yep.
No discussion of where the votes went. No discussion of redoing it. And I understand why the campaign's not making a bigger deal out of this, because it can be spun. They're sore losers, or it might...
Well, of course.
Or... Sorry, go ahead, Wayne.
No, and I think the important thing is the positive approach of saying, okay, that's fine, let's head on to New Hampshire and now South Carolina and then wherever, Florida or whatever is next. We'll take them one state at a time, and we'll get the people to support us, and eventually they're going to be forced to reckon with us one way or the other, and I think we'll find that out in the next 3 to 6 months. They're going to have to deal with the young people that support my brother, and they've got to decide whether they want them in the Republican Party or they do not want to grow the Republican Party.
That's right.
And Alex, I live in a very small county.
Tell you what, stay there. Let's go to break and just do a few more minutes on the other side, Wayne. You've got more to say. I've been throwing in so many points. I want to hear what you have to say on the other side. Then we'll get into all the other news on internet censorship. There's something a lot bigger than SOPA out there. I'll tell you about it on the other side. Stay with us.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones. I'm looking for people that have the wisdom to spot savings, opportunity, and recognize risk. Saving means to make money. The Cal Ben Pure Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated and twice as good as what you're using now. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils that contain no useless dyes, perfumes, deodorants, or antibacterials. Your risk is the hundreds of hazardous toxic detergents that give you rashes, itching sores, and deteriorating clothing called lint. If you want something better, if you want something you've never had before, you have to do something you've never done before. Getting a free catalog is easy by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com. Take charge of your health now by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
I have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. Did you ever think you'd be where you are a decade into the 21st century? Record foreclosure rates for homes, if not yours, your neighbors. Thankful for the unemployment check since you were laid off. And placing your child's name on the angel tree in hopes of a Christmas gift, along with thousands of other Americans. Did you ever think your future would feel this out of control? The fact is, in all this craziness, there's only one thing you can control. Your greatest dependency, your food supply. Make 2012 the year you take control by getting prepared. eFoods Direct introduces the best way to build your food supply in the 21st century. Get a 21-day supply of food free with purchase. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Take back control in 2012. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Remember, you can bet your life on eFoods Direct.
Okay, political activist, patriot, Wayne Paul, brother of top presidential contender, the only conservative constitutionalist out there, Congressman Ron Paul. And again, we don't want there to be fraud, but I mean, clearly Ron Paul was the winner in Iowa. Clearly they've been attacking him, lying about him. And so understand, folks, we're winning just by Ron Paul running. We're winning. Look at where he's come from 4 years ago. Look at what Rand's doing in the Senate, trying to block and exposing tyrannical legislation. They've got all these Campaign for Liberty people who are true constitutionalists now running. It's going to get exponentially more powerful as we build. And Ron Paul could win. I mean, he's gone from nowhere with the media ignoring him to number 2, probably number 1, and the records of the other guys are so pitiful. If we get behind him, it's on. And folks all over the country, I talk to talk show hosts, you name it, liberals, conservatives, they all love Ron Paul. Every caller I hear to local radio says, I want Ron Paul, and the host says, too bad you can't have him. I mean, to hear the corporate dinosaur media with their parroting that Ron Paul can't win, telling their own audience that they're idiots, you're really seeing this paradox here. Wayne Paul, you were, I think, getting to that point. You were talking about you live in a small town.
I live in a small county in Texas. And even in our county 4 years ago, there was such contempt that because I worked in the precinct and went to the county convention, I was in effect ostracized because of my name, and it was pretty frustrating to see that happen. And then to hear our governor at that time at the state convention saying, since we don't have anybody running for president, you can do what you want with your votes. And from Texas, and they didn't even grant him favored son status. Perry wouldn't even grant that to him 4 years ago.
Well, look at Perry. He's coming back with his tail between his